Let's have a conversation.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I know this is a late one, and there's probably not going to be too many people on. I typically go on much earlier, but today was a long day for me. As some know, there was a grand jury summons that I received, so I had to get up and get out and go through this whole long process. And I was really tired when I got home, so there was no way that was happening. But anyways, shout out to the replay crew because I know most of the people who see this are going to be on replay. I wanted to talk about time and when is the right the right time. So welcome to my next mindful discussion. My mindful discussions have typically been more about reality TV on this channel, but sometimes I mix things up. So this is not about reality TV necessarily. So when we think about time, a lot of times we try to think about when is the right time or when is the perfect time. And something that I heard the other day was that the perfect time or the perfect moment is in hindsight. Because when you're actually in the moment doing whatever it is that you're doing, you might not even realize about the time being right. And to give y'all an example, I can give y'all an example of the last few months that my dad spent in the house before he had gone into hospice care. Now, if you asked me during that time period, if that was a perfect time, my answer would be obviously no, because I was sad a lot of the time. I was thinking about how he used to be and then how he was at that particular time and how he had lost so much of his functioning. And it was just tough, but there were things about that time period that were really nice and that I had an experience from him before, such as there was a really raw, unfiltered version of him that didn't exist. Anyone who knows anything about people that have Alzheimer's and dementia is oftentimes their filters get taken off. And sometimes when the filters get taken off, they can say nasty things and they can do nasty things. And it was quite the opposite for me in my experience with him, where for me, now he was saying things like, I'm proud of you, son. You're a good man, and things like that, that he wasn't saying prior. Maybe because of cultural reasons and how things were for him, his upbringing, his dad, and everything. So I didn't think of that as a good time while I was going through that time. But then once he had his one of his last strokes and ended up in the hospital and in the hospice care, I missed that time that he was there in the house. And then obviously when he's gone, I do have some fond memories of that time period, even though he was sick. Other examples, I mean, an example that I give on this channel quite a bit is I've done like 5 or 6 interviews this year after he left, after he passed. And the timing, you could say that the timing was not good because I was grieving. But if I had not had those outlets to be able to do this or to be able to jump on this page or to be able to create all this different content that I've been doing, um this has been outlets for me. So if I didn't have those things, um, who knows where I would be? And then another thing is, I mentioned this on a post that I had made elsewhere, where I said there's times people have met people before during certain times. Like for me, people who meet me now, or not necessarily right now, but within the last 8 9 months, this is a down period in my life. It's a down period mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. I'm just drained in every aspect of life. And there's people who have met me during this down time period. And I tend to feel like I'm always the person who brings people up. I'm always the person who does things for people and makes people feel better. And to some degree, I've still been doing that because that's my default, but I have not been doing that nearly as much as I do when I'm feeling good. It feels like a strain, honestly, for me to extend myself for other people and to help other people right now. It feels like a strain. I do it as much as I can, but much less than I do at other times. And I sometimes say to myself, anyone who has encountered me, whether that has been personally, professionally, or, you know, any kind of capacity in these last 8 9 months have not gotten the best version of self. And I feel bad sometimes because I say, oh man, I wish they had met me during this time period when I could have been more upbeat, or I could have been more giving, or I just could have been more than what I am right now. But there's a thing about time. What is time? There's not a good time. There's not a bad time. There's not a right time. There's not a wrong time. Because what is time? Time is just something that goes forward continuously. It's just something that moves. You flip the hourglass and the sand goes from one part of the hourglass to the other. That's all time is doing. All these adjectives that we add to it are just our feeling about what's happening during the time. And like I said, typically we're not feeling that feeling in the moment. We're feeling that feeling after the fact. You know what? This was a great time in my life. And then oftentimes we think about prior times because of bad things that happen to us in the present. Something bad happens to me now, and you say, you know what? That time wasn't so bad. You know what? I would give anything to have this time back. I didn't appreciate it enough because now I'm going through this valley and I'm missing that time when I was on even ground. So, my point and my purpose of all this is to say, learn to find the joy and appreciation out of whatever time period that you're in right now. You might be in an era of grieving. You might be in an era of celebration. You might be in an era where there's not too many highs and lows. You're just on an even plane. You can find something out of any time that you appreciate and hold on to that thing, because there will be another time at some point in time in your life where you miss it, or where you say, I missed the moment, or where you say, I was waiting for the right time and the right time never came because I had all these specific requirements and qualifiers before I considered this the right time. And then the time just went by because time keeps going. I always say we don't get time, we get moments. We get moments. And once you have the moment once, it's already gone. So our goal should be to slow down when we get those good moments, when we get those nice moments, and to look for them more. Because you can lose so much joy and happiness with your expectations. Oh, before I'm going to be happy, I need to have this or I need to get this. That's what's going to make me happy. And then if you don't get that thing, you're not happy. But then there were so many other good things that you had that you didn't appreciate, that you didn't recognize because of the things that you were seeking. You were seeking this and this and this, and you didn't notice this, or that. Then you look back and you say, was that really important? The other thing is, don't wait until the right time to do something that you want to do and are able to do right now. Because the only time that is guaranteed to us is right now. We don't know what's going to happen the next second, minute, hour. So make all the time that you get count because it's not unlimited. And I know that's something that we all say, but it's true. There are time limits on all of us. So do it now. Whatever it is, do it right now. Because now is the time that you know that you got. And that's all I got. Thank you for your support. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some great content. Thank you and have a great night.